Hi, everyone. My name is Lydia Martinez, and I am the founder and owner of L Marketing and Restaurant Owners Marketing Academy. And I'm here today to actually introduce you to somebody on my team. Kaitlyn, hello. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing really well. Thank you. So Kaitlyn joined the L Marketing team a little over 3 months ago, and we realized that we'd never given her a proper introduction to everyone. And so I wanted today to talk a little bit about Kaitlyn, have her introduce herself to you. But one of the things that I love about Kaitlyn is we actually met a few years ago. Um, so, so Kaitlyn, kind of talk about how that came to be.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how things kind of fall together in the way that they're supposed to. So a couple of years ago, I was between jobs and looking at starting my master's degree, and I decided to attend a networking conference in Salt Lake. And Lydia happened to be the keynote speaker at this conference, and I introduced myself. We connected. I gave her a resume, and that was kind of that for a while. And then at near the tail end of my master's degree, I had a project to do where I had to interview the founder of a business, and I thought, oh well, Lydia would be perfect for this because I had heard her, I had heard her speak, and I thought she was really knowledgeable, and so. Plus, it was also in the field that she works in the field that I wanted to go into. So I emailed her and I was like, hey, do you have time to do an interview? And she was like, yeah, that's great. So we talked, and I did the project, got a really good grade, by the way. And then after we had reconnected, a few weeks later, she emailed me and let me know that there was a job opportunity in her company. And I was immediately like, yes, please, I would love to do this. So that's kind of how we met. And it's just really interesting to see how things kind of fall into place in life the way they're meant to be.
I'm a big believer that very often you meet people for a reason, things come together for a reason, and you connect with people kind of at the right moment in time. And so, from my perspective, here's what happened when we met. So I I'd like finished speaking, and it was a keynote speech, and so it was to a big room of women entrepreneurs, totally my jam. um, but usually when I speak, I'm speaking about marketing topics, right? A keynote is very different because you are speaking on a more personal and inspirational level. And so I was really talking about why you're here, and relaying it to a spot on the map and being in the right place at the right time, and acknowledging like that you are here. um when you go to the mall and you look at the map and you see a little pin in it that says you are here, and we talked a lot about that as part of that keynote. And I really felt strongly that I was supposed to be there that day. And a little bit later that day, I was kind of like packing up my bags and getting ready to go. I can't remember if I was going to speak in another session or if we were wrapping up for the day, but Kaitlyn came straight up to me and like beeline for me. I could see her coming from across the room, and she had a very determined look on her face. Well, I love determination. And she came straight up to me. She handed me a business card. She said, "Are you looking for somebody to help you?" And I said, "Well, we talked about how I wasn't quite in a position. I wasn't quite looking for somebody. Honestly, I still had some growth to do myself as a business owner, to be ready to employ somebody on that level." And so, I tucked her resume away. I had her contact information. We communicated a little at that point because I'm a big believer that when somebody takes that step and reaches out to you, you have an obligation to at least be kind and acknowledge the effort that takes, because it is hard and intimidating. And I know that I've been on the other side of it. And so then this year, I knew it was the year to bring in another strategist to help me, because, I don't have an endless font of creativity or an endless font of technical skills when it comes to marketing. Sooner or later, you're like, I'm clean out of ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. And I knew that I needed somebody that had a great skill set on my team, but that also could be grown and developed into a leader within my company. And that just happened. I was like thinking about that and thinking about the timing and when I could make it happen. And it's a big, scary next step. And then Kaitlyn emailed me about doing an interview. And so I was delighted to reconnect with her. We had a great conversation. And I was very impressed with her level of her communication skills, the questions that she was asking, her directness. I'm a very direct person. And to work with me, you have to be able to handle that and dish it right back.
Yeah.
And I was impressed with her attention to detail, the level of detail that she was clearly giving a project that could have been, like a throwaway, I'm in my very last semester of graduate school project. And so after we wrapped up, it became very, very clear almost immediately that I needed to hire someone. And I was racking my brain, because I was I don't want to go through this process of interviewing, trying to hire someone, trying to figure out who's a good fit. None of those things. I don't that just feels overwhelming for me at this particular juncture. And then I was wait, I already know who it's going to be. It's going to be Kaitlyn. So even when you and I first started talking, I already knew that we were going to work together. In that moment, I just knew that it was going to work out. And I didn't know if it was going to work out right now or down the road, but I just knew.
Yeah.
And so coming to the table and having those conversations with you was really, really interesting, because it felt like it was a good fit right from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I was thinking that when you very first threw the that potential job out there, I was like, this feels so right for where I'm at right now in my career. And the funny thing is, because you said a few minutes ago that you were kind of iffy about that conference. The funny thing is, I almost didn't go as well, and then because I was going, I don't know if if I'm ready to take on a marketing job in addition to my schoolwork. And but I just had that feeling that I was I have to go. This is going to be worth it.
Yeah.
And having worked with L Marketing for almost, let's see, it'll be 4 months tomorrow, actually.
Whoa.
Having worked with you guys for about 4 months, I can say that this has been one of my favorite jobs I've ever had.
Amazing.
So
amazing. We love working with you. So talk a little bit about what it was that drew you to marketing in the first place, because none of us planned to go in marketing. I've never met a marketer that was I dreamed of growing up and going into marketing. We all kind of fall into it and then realize how cool it is. So talk about how you learned that you love marketing.
Yeah, it's really funny. And I think this was one of the reasons that we connected so easily, was that we have a very similar educational background. Both went into journalism initially. And towards the end of my bachelor's degree, I realized, so one of my friends who was a producer at KSL, which is a local TV station, had me job shadow her, because I was convinced that I wanted to be a reporter and I wanted to, be in that world. And immediately I knew when I job shadowed her, I was this is not it.
I realized too, where I was oh, this thing has the ability to consume me and eat me alive, and I don't actually want to
Exactly.
do that.
Exactly. So that was towards the end of my bachelor's degree, and I was like, well, crap, I don't want to start over. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this now, though. And in my program, luckily, they had a couple of marketing classes, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this and see how I feel about it. And I immediately loved it. And I think it kind of combined the thing that I love about journalism, which is telling stories, with the ability to, get together with other creatives and help tell the stories of brands, and make sure that they really shine in the digital space, as well as just in everyday life. So I fell in love with that, and I was like, okay, I think this is what I want to do. So I graduated with my bachelor's degree and decided to go back to school because apparently I have a thing where I just really love school and until I'm in it, and then I'm like, wait.
You.
Yeah, exactly. So I went back to LDS Business College because they were offering 1 year intensive social media marketing certificate. So I did that, and then I worked for a little bit in email marketing. And then after a while, I realized that I wanted to pursue a master's degree in marketing. So I did. And that whole thing kind of led me here. I did the digital audience strategy master's program through Arizona State, and I graduated in May. So.
And you started at L Marketing when? In June?
June 14th.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Tell me what it was that you kind of loved about your area of study for your master's program.
So I think one of the things that, again, I'm a big storyteller. I love telling stories. So one of the things that I really enjoyed was, one, being able to tell the story of a brand, but two, also being able to track the results of that story and see positive impacts around the things that we were doing to tell the story of a company. And I think that I really enjoyed just trying to think how to say this, the ability to connect with people over something that we both enjoy, with the company, telling their story, because all of our clients, I'm passionate about their brands and what they do, and all of the companies that we work with have really good positive, they're positive influences in the world. And I think that because originally I thought I was going to go into marketing for nonprofits, and I did that for a while.
Yeah.
But I also needed to make a living.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think that's one thing. I love helping people tell their stories, basically, which was one of the things that drew me to marketing, is because that's basically the mission of the brand.
It's literally the tagline of the company. Every business has a story. We help tell yours.
Yep, exactly.
And that's ultimately what it feels like to me is I'm a storyteller first. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, I love telling stories. I love learning stories. I love sharing stories. I love telling stories, and finding something where I could do that, make a living, help supply a living for other people, and also help businesses grow and spread their mission, spread their story. I really feel like I hit the jackpot as far as careers go.
Yeah. Well, and making that positive impact for those brands, and being able to say, hey, look what we did.
We accomplished something significant. And
Exactly.
that is always meaningful. As far as, as far as you and your skill set and your background, talk a little bit about what it is that you do here at Elle Marketing.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, it's my job description is kind of in my title a little bit, but so I'm the marketing strategist. So I oversee kind of the overarching strategy for the brands that we work with. So, for example, I help put together a marketing plan for them, essentially, and help develop that so that they have some guidance and basically say, hey, here's what we think will help you grow the most. I also do the results action plans for new clients, which is basically, here's what you have as far as marketing goes right now, and here's where we think you can go. Let us help you get there, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. It's essentially a roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting here. Here's what you need to get where you want to be.
Mm-hmm. And I think, and that's kind of a form of storytelling in and of itself, because we take a new client and say, okay, well, what have we got here that they're already doing? And then we kind of tell that story of how we can get them to where they want to be, and help them grow as a business.
Absolutely. I love that. So tell us a little bit about what you do when you are not working. What do you do for fun? What's your
So I am a huge bookworm. And
the reason why we get along.
Yes. My current to read pile is about this tall.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I also really enjoy being outside, a lot of hiking, taking long walks. And I think that just being around people that I care about and enjoying their company. I'm an introvert, but I'm a kind of an extrovert around people that I'm very comfortable with. Yeah. So, but yeah, I love work, but when I'm not working, I'm also, I'm pretty obsessed. Probably obsessively reading.
Yeah. There is zero things wrong with that. Well, thank you so much, Kaitlyn, for joining me today. Like I said, we kind of were in the thick of things with some transitions and stuff that we hadn't planned on right when you joined the company. And I'm delighted to finally officially kind of introduce you to our audience at large, so that they can get to know you as well. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. We're working on really introducing everybody to our team, letting them know who's behind all the marketing. A few years ago, it was just me and a couple of subcontractors, and we've really grown extensively, even in the past 6 months. So it's something that I'm really proud of and really feel good about, that we're able to provide so much more in terms of, providing for a team of people that are amazing and talented, but also providing so much more in terms of service for our clients.
Yep.
Thanks again.